Hey guys, so here's the second video in the back to school series this year where I'll be showing you how to make 4 awesome DIY notebooks instead of those really boring $1 ones that we get. So let's get into that. So before I start, this is an awesome collaboration with Carolyn from Carolyn CV, and she's making DIY school supplies. So right after watching this video, remember to check out her video and subscribe to her channel because her videos are so much fun to watch. And if you're from her channel, hi, I'm mscraftnerd, and here on YouTube, I make videos on a lot of DIYs, crafts, and anything really creative and artsy and fun. So, you should click the subscribe button to get notifications every time I post, and plus subscribing is good. So, enough with the babble, let's get started. For the first notebook, we're doing a pipe cleaner notebook, and I saw this on Pinterest and I was like, yes, I gotta try this. So what you'll need for this is a notebook in any color of your choice, some pipe cleaners in any color of your choice, a pair of scissors, and a hot glue gun. So what I first did was I cut out a heart and I traced that onto the middle of my notebook. Then I applied some glue onto the edge of the notebook and sticked on a pipe cleaner. And basically I did that throughout the whole notebook, and when it came to the heart, I applied some glue at the top, sticked on the pipe cleaner, cut off the excess, and with whatever pipe cleaner was left, I stick that onto the bottom of the heart. So once you're done putting pipe cleaners all over the notebook, cut off the excess that are sticking out on the ends, and that's it. For the second notebook, we're doing a Tumblr collage notebook, which I'm pretty sure you guys have seen because they're super cute and artsy and they're all over the place. So what you'll need for this is a notebook, preferably a closed edge one, some Mod Podge, a brush for your Mod Podge, a pair of scissors, and cardstock paper, which I forgot to show. So what I first did was went into Google Images and picked out all the different kinds of Tumblr pictures I liked. Then I went onto a website called picmonkey.com and just laid out all the pictures in any way I chose. After that, I printed it out on cardstock paper. And it resulted onto this, and I was so freaking out how cute it was. I was telling you guys all over Instagram and Twitter, which you should follow me on. And then, once you have that printed out with your notebook, apply on some Mod Podge and then stick on your Tumblr collage. And press down really tight, and here's a trick with a card, take out any air bubbles that are there. And then I did the same thing to the back, applied some Mod Podge and sticked on the Tumblr collage. And with the excess paper that was sticking out on the side, I folded it over and sticked it on with a hot glue gun, but you could also cut it or stick it with Mod Podge. However, I do suggest to cut it off. Then you go apply on a thin coat of Mod Podge, but be careful to make sure that the ink from your pictures do not leak through, which unfortunately happened to me. But other than that, you're done. Hey Siri, what's the definition of sarcasm?
Sarcasm means your body's natural defense against stupid.
And there you go, Siri told you the definition of sarcasm. So for the third notebook, we're doing a Tumblr Sassy notebook, and what you need for this is some bright colored paper. I chose hot pink poster board paper, a notebook of your choice, Mod Podge, a pair of scissors, and pens and markers of your choice. So I laid out the notebook onto the poster board and made some measurements, figuring out how big I needed it to be, and then I cut that out. Then I folded it over, and then with a pencil I traced out my quote, which was a fake definition of sarcasm, your body's natural defense against stupid, and I really liked that. Then I traced it over with some permanent marker, and erased any excess pencil marks. Then back to the notebook, I applied some Mod Podge all over it. Then with the poster board thing, I stick that on top and press down really tight, making sure that there were no air bubbles. Then I cut slits at the top edges where the notebook folds over, and then I folded over the edges and stick that on with hot glue onto the notebook, but I highly suggest to instead cut it off. But other than that, that's it. for the fourth notebook, we're doing a watercolor splash notebook. And what you need for this is a notebook, some watercolor paper, watercolor paint, paintbrushes, Mod Podge, a big paintbrush for your Mod Podge, a thin Sharpie, some water, and a pair of scissors. So what I first did was I made some measurements, making sure how big I needed my watercolor paper to be to stick onto the notebook, and then I cut off the excess paper. Then for the watercolor part, what I first did was I applied on a big glob of water onto the paper, and I actually tinted the water, but my camera did not record that for some reason. But basically what I'm saying is that there's a big glob of paper on the watercolor paper, and the watercolor paper does not absorb that all the way because that's its purpose. And so when you apply the watercolor paint on top, it kind of gives this whole marble watercolor splash effect, which is what we're going for. And I was actually impressed with how it turned out because I didn't think it would, but yeah, that's how it works. Then with a blow dryer, I dried it, but this is optional. You can also let it air dry, but for filming purposes, I use a blow dryer. So once it was dry, with a pencil, I traced out my quote, which was "Follow your dreams." Then I took a thin Sharpie and traced over that. Now back to the notebook. Again, you're going to apply some Mod Podge on top of it. Then you're going to stick on your little quote watercolor splash thing. And then press down real tight and remove any air bubbles and cut off the excess paper, and that's it. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me down in the comments which notebook you like, and also tell me if you want more DIY notebook videos, because I loved making them. I had so many ideas. And also give this video a thumbs up because thumbsy uppies are awesome. And follow me on Instagram and Twitter and use the hashtag mscraftnerd to send me your recreations. And that's it, guys. Love you guys so much. Toodles!